Welcome, and thank you for joining. This is Real Talk Hillcrest on Real Talk San Diego, Facebook Live, bringing you the business and life of America's favorite city. This show is presented to you by our loyal partner and 5-star escrow and First American Title. I'm your host, Vinny with Team Vinny SD and Keller Williams. Today, excited?
Very.
Every week
Yes.
I say I'm excited. Fairly
Very.
excited today.
Yes.
Two special guests, Lisa Feren,
Yes.
founder and owner of Handcrafted Marketing.
Yes.
Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right. And we got Brian Lopez over here, mortgage originator with Finance of America. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You guys excited for the show today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Especially in the spirit of tonight's Powerball.
Wow.
I got us a little ticket here. If these are the winning numbers, then we'll all win in this room.
Because you're the money guy.
Yeah.
Well,
I got money to lend.
If you do decide to use your finances and figure it out, that's not his game plan. He actually can walk you through getting approved, and don't worry about that.
Yes.
All right, to start it off, most of your clients know about your business. So I like to start the show off about like something they don't know. So the question I'm about to ask you guys,
Okay.
favorite 90s song? Start it off.
Favorite 90s song.
Yes.
Gotta be something Depeche Mode, I think.
All right.
Isn't that 80s?
Oh,
No.
Is it 90s?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you,
90s.
Brian?
Some of it was 90s.
House of Pain.
Okay.
Jump around.
There you go, jump around, that's exciting.
Right?
All right, which two organizations outside of, well, I guess your profession, do you do a lot of business with or deal with on a daily basis? So it'd be
Can you ask
easy.
him first? No, I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
you want to go first?
Ask again.
Okay, so besides lending, loan officers,
Okay.
besides that, what other professions do you deal with on a daily basis? Top two.
Other professions, probably say financial planners.
Okay.
Deal with financial planners. And
All right, real estate agents.
real estate agents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, outside of what I do.
Yeah.
Um,
And you have a really
Wow.
unique job, so it's might not be the best, but like, is there two professions that you deal with like a lot on a daily basis, or just?
Outside of my business, I would say baristas. We were just talking about that
Okay.
because I go for coffee a lot.
Okay, there we go.
And really, I hang out with the mom crowd a lot, you know? So
Okay.
a lot of school stuff,
Okay,
I would say.
what's your coffee of choice?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to plug them here. So
Okay.
I love James Coffee.
Okay.
And they just opened up a Bankers Hill location, so I walk there. It's fabulous because I live in Hillcrest.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I've got a coffee place, you know, that
Do you can you give the address or location for James
Oh,
Coffee?
the address. The James Coffee, there's one in Little Italy,
Okay.
and I don't remember the address, somewhere in India. And then the other one is on 4th Avenue, and it's like 2 blocks past Redwood, but before Laurel. So right there in this new cool building. It's
Oh,
good,
wow, okay.
Good coffee.
Actually,
Really
moving
good
offices
coffee.
over there.
You know,
So.
Are you?
have you heard of Badass Coffee? Seriously,
That's not
I heard that's pretty good coffee.
No,
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they mentioned that
Could
coffee.
be badass,
Thought
yeah.
Yeah, right?
why not?
Fair enough. Well, talking about Hillcrest for yourself, what if you had to do an ideal day in Hillcrest? I always have to ask, what would you do? What would it consist of?
I think I got some pretty nice restaurants out there.
Okay.
Don't
What's
really.
a restaurant?
I don't frequent Hillcrest too often.
Yeah.
But I drive through there every so often and see like nice restaurants to possibly eat at.
Okay.
So they got that. The one that I drive through is at the Barbecue Smoke Pit or something like that on the corner. What is it, Washington?
Yeah, 5th and Washington.
Yeah, right there. So might try that place. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I live in Hillcrest.
Okay, yes.
I love it.
You keep on plugging that. We
So,
understand.
I
You're
know.
living in
I
Hillcrest.
know. It's
All right.
best town in San Diego.
Real Talk
So
Hillcrest,
I
yeah.
would go. Okay, so now I'll plug my second favorite. I
Okay.
would go to Pete's Coffee, which
Okay.
is on University and 4th.
Okay.
And then I would go to Bread and Sea, and I would
Okay.
get yummy French pastries.
Okay.
And they have really good salads.
Oh.
Where else do I go? I head down to Starlight Lounge, which is just like at the
Yeah.
bottom of Washington and India. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's considered Hillcrest anymore, but that's a good cocktail place. It's always a good cocktail and good French fries.
Isn't Extraordinary Desserts out there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good
also, I
place.
think, on 5th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You might not hear it here,
Yeah.
but Claire is moaning in the background based off of.
You said the magic word.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our real estate minute. The last time talked about it. We have a shortage of inventory in San Diego, well, in Hillcrest, in San Diego County, but in Hillcrest too. We currently only have 22 active properties on the market. Last month, 20 properties sold. So in an average market, you want about 6 months of inventory. Right now, we have a little more than about a month in Hillcrest. You're gonna probably have to factor in a lot of these properties are $1 million up. Usually they stay on the market a little bit longer. So if we're talking about $1 million or less, a lot less inventory out there. So if you're looking to buy, have an aggressive agent on your side. If you're looking to sell, it's a great time to sell. You just got to maximize your return. So let's get started, Lisa. We talked a little bit about that you live in Hillcrest. You said you live in Hillcrest.
Do I
right?
live in Hillcrest?
I believe you said that. So live in Hillcrest. Okay, now we know that. Tell us a little about your business.
Sure. So I started Handcrafted Marketing.
Okay.
And it is basically a consulting company, and I consult with very small businesses, itty-bitty businesses, entrepreneurs, people that are just starting out, and I really help them to craft their message so they can be seen and heard online. They can find their customers, they can connect with people, they can people know exactly what they do, what they're all about, and we do that through website, social media, press releases, media pitches, however they can get out to their customers.
And I think you described it pretty well, because this is a very unique business. I don't hear a lot about this, but I do have a lot of people that when I talk to them, they're always like, I had this idea, I want to do this, I want to do this. And what's the next step, or how do I hone it in a little bit? And so for those kind of individuals right there, you'd be the person that can help incubate that idea and bring it from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, marketing is such a huge arm. I think we were talking, Brian, there's SEO, there's Facebook ads, there's AdWords, there's traditional advertising, there's online. I mean, there's so many things that I figured out after 2 years of doing this, what I'm really good at and what I love to help people with. But yeah, it's that incubation period of, okay, I want to start this business. What do I need to do? Well, you need to figure out exactly what you're selling, because you're in sales. You need to make money. You have to sell something, whether it's your knowledge or a product. So what are you going to sell? Who are you going to sell it to? Who's your niche? And where are you going to put yourself so your market can find you? So if you're, customers are on Facebook, are they on Instagram? Are you a food person, which you need photos, or is it more words? Like where are your people? Do you need to go to magazines? Do you need to go to real estate agents to find your people? And what do you need to tell them about you, really?
How did you get in this business? Again, it's very unique. How do you start out? How did you get the idea?
So I was, sales and marketing all my life, and when I realized I wanted to go out on my own, I literally opened up shop, and people would come to me. It's the biggest joke. It's like, learn from your mistakes. I'd be like, oh, I do marketing. They're like, yeah, I need marketing help. I'm like, great, what do you need? They're like, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you. Or so I'd say, okay, well, great. Well, what do you think you need? They'd say, well, I think I need, help with my Facebook. And I'd be like, great, I'll do it for you. And so I just sort of honed it over these 2 years to say, okay, what do I like doing? What am I good at? And what am I actually helping clients at? What I keep hearing? And it's just my energy and my ideas. So I like to strategize with people and give them new ideas and new strategies and new ways of looking at why they're amazing and why they should get out there and sell what they're selling.
Do you watch Tony Robbins at all?
I do.
I forgot which video it is, but
I don't think he lives in Hillcrest. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I don't believe he does.
I could have sworn I seen him around there.
Besides that, he's still a really great speaker, but no, I forgot the video, but he was talking about it, and they're saying, okay, if you needed to do this, or if there was a problem, what would it be, or something like that, and they go, I have no clue.
Right.
But if you did know, what would it be? And he keeps on asking the kind of that question, just like you're talking about it, and then finally they say something out because that's the first thing that comes to their head. And so you're prying them, kind of breaking it down and actually getting to the root of what it is.
Yes, I have long questionnaires. So when I work with people and they're like, I have no idea what I want to write on my homepage or about my products, and I just start asking them questions, and it sort of just comes together in this really great, text, really. And it's when you're out on your own, it's really different than corporate America. People aren't caring about what your education was 25 years ago, and they want to know who you've helped, how you help, and can you help them too, and do they connect with you? That's really what they're looking for. So
Yeah.
it's really, I mean, I want to say it is easy to start a business, you know?
Yeah.
If you have someone to sell to and you believe in what you have to say, offer, then you can do it.
Yeah, I think it's you're saying that basically your idea, who you helped, and so on and so forth. I see it a lot, at least in the U.S., that age and time frames are such a big thing here in the U.S. I've lived in Europe, I mean, for a little while, and over there, that was never a case. It was about the individual and about what they were providing.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that I always see here, that's time. How long you been in the business for? What,
Right.
you know, how old are you? So on and so forth. And instead of just what you do, what you provide,
Right.
who you've helped, so on and so forth.
Well, I think, you know, I'm obviously not a millennial,
Yeah.
and so it is intimidating getting online because, you know, I mean, you know, just the way they work the internet and technology. But what I have that they might not have is that business background, and I've got this uncanny way when I talk to people, I get where their business is going. I understand, you know, what's behind it,
Yeah.
so I can actually really help them, not just like, oh yeah, I love Facebook, let's, you know, post some stuff, but
Yeah.
what's the reason you're on Facebook? What are you gonna do with
purpose.
it? Yeah.
You have a couple
Purpose.
kids.
So
I do.
Are they
Yeah, two,
pretty,
three.
how old, 10?
Well, they got 3. I got 10, 12, and 15.
The 10-year-olds, they teach them about websites and that kind of stuff, right? Don't they do that?
They were going to a school that was kind of like a tech school.
Okay.
And yeah, they were always on the computer, learning Google Docs, learning how to code, learning, you know, they know more about a computer than I do.
They do.
It's like,
It's scary.
amazed.
It's quick. If you don't stay up on top of it, like I had one of my relatives, he was really big into web design, and he took about 4 years off or 5 years off, and he's just like, you know, I don't want to do this. I'm not really into it. He tried going to it again. He was like, I have no clue what's going on. Like
Right?
it's so.
I know. Don't you love when you get yelled at by your kids?
Yeah.
Like,
You're doing it
Mom,
wrong."
you're doing it wrong. Well, oh my God, then do
Or-
it for
Or you
me.
get that's not how you do it. Let me show you. Yeah.
What's your ideal client?
My ideal client is typically female. I don't want to say I only work with females, but typically a female client, and it is somebody who is juggling, I like to say, juggling life and business. They really have a full, you know, life with kids and family, and they are trying to build a business as well. And usually it's a small business. It could be just one person or itty bitty, you know, a few people. That's really where I excel. Yeah.
So this is a question that Brian probably would want to know. Why do you dislike men so much?
I don't dislike men at all, but you know, it's
Is it
interesting.
easier to work with women?
Well, like
or
I
it's
don't like to call myself like a mompreneur. I mean, I you know, that would be every woman who has kids, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Right.
I don't know. That's just me. But it is men tend to really disassociate with family more when they're in business, and women don't.
Right.
So I don't know. It just happened where I feel like, and maybe it's just me that I felt like I couldn't tell a man like, okay, well I have to pick up my kids from school, so I can't talk to you at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Where another mom, we get it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what, school pickup at 3. Can we
Yeah.
talk at 2 or can we talk at 4? And they're like, oh, absolutely. Or I can talk at 6, but there might be little voices in the background. Does that bother you? And they're like, I'll have those too. Where I feel like men are more separated from that. And again, it could just be me.
Yeah.
Men now are going to be banging down my door to work with
I'm
me.
all about family first.
I wonder if
But-
it's an age thing, like because that it seems like an older mindset that I'm half Hispanic, and in that world, I remember growing up. My grandmother, like we're eating our food, and me and my sister are there, and me trying to take the plate to the kitchen. My grandma goes, no, that's not you. And she grabs the plate, she gives it to my sister, and she goes, "That's a woman."
Yeah.
I don't remember that. And that was like the mindset. Like a
Right.
woman is like the family
don't wanna
kitchen is like that.
say-
But I think
That's
it's
a stereotypical
I think it's
Yeah.
Mexican
I think
family.
it's transitioning. It feels maybe in my mind like there's a newer mindset to it that a man could basically be at home, raise the kids, compared to a woman, they could do the same thing. And I
Right.
think that barrier is kind of changed, at least how I see it. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
I would say, and I do work
people.
with men.
yeah. I was just
But I guess if people can connect with you,
Yeah, kind of understand where
right.
you're coming from.
right.
Yeah. Well, see, that's I see what she's talking about. It's like
Good. So we're gonna work
a woman.
together.
Yeah, a woman. She can relate to a woman more because like she mentioned, they're family first. You can tell her, I'm gonna go pick up my kids.
Yeah.
Or I got some family stuff to do, and I think
Right.
a woman would be possibly a little bit more understanding. That's just my opinion. So.
Well, and again, you might get that machismo thing dealing with maybe a Hispanic. I said, I know what I'm doing.
Do you speak Spanish?
That's what I go to dating, guys. Spanish is muy mal, correct? Is that
Right.
correct?
Oh, coconut.
Yeah.
Is that okay. What can they? So when you get your ideal client, okay, what can they expect? How does the process go? Like, Brian wants to start a company for mittens for kittens. All right, so always sunny in
good.
Philadelphia. Where would he go next?
Mittens with kittens?
Yeah.
Great idea. I would, barring that they already have their product, because
Okay.
we were just talking about that too in the green room over there, product research and bring a product to market for them. I help them to get seen once their product is out there. So
Okay.
really I would have a strategy session. I've got lots of questions that I would ask and just find out about like what you're asking me, why did you start this business? What makes you better than another company with, mittens with kittens? What's the benefit to it? And we just go on to lots of different questions so we can find out why someone's going to buy this. Like
Yeah.
it sounds all well and good, and then kind of pull at the heartstrings and make someone really want this product. And then when they find it and they start reading, they know, oh, I got to have this product, or I have to find out more about this product.
How long is the initial consultation that you sit down with a person? Is there like
Oh.
a time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a quick talker. I don't mince
Okay.
words. We just get down to business. And so my strategy sessions are usually an hour, and then I sit down and I write, and then I get something back to you within a few days.
Oh wow, okay, so it's
And
fairly
then
fast.
and then we start the process. Because usually when people come to me, they're ready to get it up. They
Okay.
want to get their website going. They're like ready to do
They've
it.
kind of put the cost, paid the cost, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Or they already have a website, and we do a kind of like an audit of, all right, well, why aren't people staying on your website long? How come your sales aren't doing it? And it's kind of like, then I start talking to someone, and I'm like, wow, you have so many amazing things to say, and it's not here on your website. Let's get that out of you and put it on your website. Because if people knew what you just told me, this might
question.
change.
What could somebody do to help get more people to their website? What would you recommend? For me, example, my
Yeah.
website. What would you recommend for me to do so I can get more people to view it?
Well, you're in mortgages, yeah. So,
What separates you
Well,
from?
that's-
And we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
What separates you from
Right.
other lenders?
You want me to ask that right now?
Yeah, I guess.
shoot 'em off
I didn't know. I didn't know if we were getting her off the hot seat. So. Okay,
Oh, we'll get back
I'm
to
on it.
just
Right.
you can just go a little elevator pitch.
Okay.
What separates you?
Well, what separates me is that I take the time to educate my clients. I pick up the phone, whether I have bad news, good news. I communicate. I over-communicate, and I make sure that all parties in the transaction involved know what is going on. So that I would say my communication is above everybody else's. Is the number one thing.
I love that.
So communication.
It's-
That's going to be
there's-
the
yeah.
thing. So we'll,
I mean,
Yeah,
I've had people
yeah.
that have mentioned to me, wow, you're calling me all the time. It's like, I look at it as becoming my client's friends. And
Yeah.
it's not just the transaction that we're doing at the time. It goes well beyond that transaction.
I got a little.
Yeah, and I would say that's great because the rates are the rates, and
Right.
everybody is getting
Exactly.
the same rate. So what's going to set you apart is the fact that when people are freaking out that they're refinancing or buying or doing whatever they're doing, is do they feel like they're being taken care of? Do they feel like you literally have them? Because that's what they really are looking for. They're looking for peace of mind. They're not really, yes, they need the mortgage, but they're looking for someone to take care of them.
Yeah.
So
And-
I would do that, kind of put that out there. And then I would just find out where your customers are. So like you said, you're going after maybe title companies or real estate agents, and you're networking with them. You are on, not that you have to have the best Facebook page, but you're on Facebook and you're in different groups.
Uh-huh.
And when people ask questions about anything related to your field, you kind of get in there and answer it. And if someone likes your answer, they're going to go and look you up. And then they're going to go to your website. And then they're going to be like, this Brian guy, you know what? Maybe we should give him a call. Maybe we should get the second,
So it would be a good idea to go live.
You know what?
Open houses.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm in the office, go live.
Absolutely. I mean, live is, we're live now, but I typically don't, and I probably should, but live is really the way to go because it connects your face and your personality, and you can tell people what you want them to know. I would also say, if you can, get like email lists. I mean, email list is better than social media because you can control exactly what your message is and the timing and who it's going to. So try to get email addresses.
And on that,
Thank you.
this is Lisa Feren. Can you tell the people out there how to get in contact with you?
Great. I'm going to look at the camera for this one. I am at handcraftedmarketing.com, and I am also on Facebook at Handcrafted Marketing. And I have a contact page from my website, and I would love to hear from you. So, is that good?
What do you think?
I thought it was great.
All right.
Good job.
All right, so I understand you became the editor of a global magazine,
Yes.
Life Grid.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me a little about that?
Yes. I started contributing some blogs to a online magazine. It was called Life Grid. They're up in Perth, Australia.
Oh, wow.
And they were getting hundreds of submissions about anything. I mean, you can read about, business to family. And again, it was typically towards women to empower women and in business. And they really want to get several cities on the ground to really pump up their local businesses. So they asked me to do their local San Diego magazine.
Oh, wow.
So it's Life Grid San Diego.
Okay.
It's also on Facebook, Life Grid San Diego. You can like it. And I'm charged with writing an article about a local business every month. And the one coming out is Kara Greenwell. She has a Narrative Decor, so I can plug her too. Narrative Decor, and we wrote about her and just like why she started her business, what separates her, and she was giving some time management tips to other people about how to manage business and family. She's got kids too.
Yeah.
And so right now it's free. We're kind of trying to drum up business, and eventually we'll see where it goes. It's kind of cool, but it fits in with what I do because it's writing and it's again getting your business on a global stage.
Do you have a theme that goes throughout all your articles where it's balancing business and family, or is that kind of a big theme that you play with?
Yeah, definitely, because it really is. It's really the trick of what everybody's trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I always say, like, you can have it all, but not all at the same time. You can't work 100 hours a week and be there for your kids. So it's like, how do you balance it all so you get it all?
Yeah.
The magazine really is just to inspire women and inspire people in San Diego.
So I understand that you're really big into finding influencers to help your partner and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you find those people?
Yeah, because again, online, everybody can help you sell.
Yeah.
And so if you, I guess it depends on what your business is, but you need to find people that are in complementary businesses to you. So if you are, let's say, in the fitness field, you don't just have to go after, fitness. You can go after healthy eating people and, all the different areas that touch fitness or people that are involved in fitness. And you find people who are blogging, you find people who are podcasting and online magazines, and you just reach out there. And that's what I do too. I can help people to write media pitches, to reach out to say, hey, you have the same audience. I think my people, your people will really want to hear what I have to say, and here's why, and this is what I would love to contribute to your readers or your podcast. And you reach out, and
So
when
do
they
you-
plug you, you get all of their people. And
So do you reach out on your client's behalf for those different things, or is that like a separate thing, or do you relate to your client, this is why you should reach out and so forth?
yeah, I actually help them to create their message
Okay.
and create a plan for them to reach out.
Okay.
I help them to figure out where they need to reach out and to who. I can help them put that together. But because I'm not niche to say, oh, I'm in fashion or
Yeah.
I'm in, health and fitness, it's just such a big, vast,
Yeah.
net that I typically have them give me, their A, B, and C list of, the top huge influencers that might be a stretch, and then the B crowd, and then the C, which are smaller, where we know they can get in right away
Yeah.
to sort of build that up.
Some good ideas for that.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm
Yeah.
listening. Our industry
We'll
is
talk.
80% listening, 20% talking.
Right?
So I got my 80% on right now.
Well, there you have it. Hopefully, you weren't too much on the hot seat. You're okay. That was a lot of good
Yeah,
information right
I'm
there.
good.
All right. Well, Lisa, tell everyone again how they get in contact with you.
Yes, I'm Lisa Feren with Handcrafted Marketing, helping you get seen and heard online. And I am at www.handcraftedmarketing.com.
All right. Well,
Interesting.
Thank you.
now you have a lot of knowledge of how to gain followers, how to grow your database, how to grow your market, how to come up from the ground up and be like a phoenix.
Right.
And then we have Brian over here.
Yes. That's me.
Finance of America, originator.
Yes, sir.
So Brian,
Yes.
what got you into lending?
Actually, it was about 15 years ago
Okay.
that I had been working at UPS for, I think it was like 11 years.
Wow. Okay.
So
Delivery packages.
I did, I'm originally from Ventura County.
Okay.
So I came down here to finish school
Yeah.
in '99. And up in Ventura, where I worked, I was actually driving the UPS trucks, and then came here, was in management, and I was just kind of tired of the day-to-day grind at UPS. So it was funny that I was sitting at home one day. I had a buddy, a really good friend, that walked in, and he was like so excited.
Yeah.
I was looking at him like, what are you excited about? And he said that, he helped somebody get into their first home, and he
Oh,
was
wow.
excited about the journey that they took with him.
Yeah.
So he and I were talking, sitting on the couch, and he had said, you should come check it out. And went with him the next day, and ever since then, I've been with him since day one that I first started.
Yeah.
So he kind of mentored me throughout the years to get me to where I'm at today. So
Oh, wow.
I owe him a lot.
That's cool.
And you still work with them?
Hmm. Yeah.
Have you guys switched companies or always with Finance America?
No. What happened was that he had his company, Great Western Mortgage. He was a broker, and obviously 2008 had happened, and we went through a couple of different companies. I believed in him and where he was taking us as far as him being my manager, and we stumbled through a couple of different companies, different platforms that just didn't work for us. So like I mentioned, I believed in him, and we ended up with, in 2009, actually 2008, we merged with another company, Fair Valley Financial. So both of our offices merged together, and in 2009, we joined Gateway Funding.
Okay.
And they had been around since 1992. So with that being said, to be able to withstand the market in 2008, he thought that this was a very secure company. So we were Gateway Funding up until, I'd say, a couple of years ago. And a big asset management company, the world's largest asset management company, Blackstone Investments, they actually acquired Gateway Funding and a couple of other mortgage companies and a servicing company, and they formed Finance of America. So I've been with Finance of America for the last, I'd say 3 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, great company to work for. Great company to work for. Our operations. I mean, you hear other loan officers talk about their operations team and how they're the greatest, but I can honestly say, hands down, our office is probably the best.
Do you work with a lot of lenders, originators?
No, I don't right now. I don't have any
All right.
current
I'm
clients
your guy.
in your mortgage. I have though, but
Yeah, so that would be interesting. Maybe we can
Yeah.
collaborate in some
Would
way.
love it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what, for all the people out there, what exactly does a originator do, loan officer?
We do various things, obviously, and you're well aware. But the biggest thing that I personally do, because I can't speak for other loan officers, I can only speak for myself. What I do is I guide each and every one of my clients through the whole process, from the beginning to the end, and beyond that. So what I like to do is I like to set up a complimentary mortgage consultation, and in that consultation, we'll go over their wants, needs, goals, where they see themselves in about 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and depending on that, I'll recommend certain types of loan for people. And I not only help people purchase homes, I also help people develop wealth by investing. So I've got, there you go, set for life. Set for life.
So why wouldn't a buyer not just wait, go look at properties and find a place and then talk to you?
Because first and foremost, they don't know if they can afford the house.
Okay.
And that's probably one of the biggest things that I hear from some of the real estate agents that I work with, is that they've got somebody that wants to go out and look for a house before they even get pre-approved.
Yeah.
So the first and foremost thing, you want to first make sure that you can afford the house that you're looking at. Second, you want to make sure that it's affordable, because you don't want to overextend yourself and have to save just to go to McDonald's or go to a movie. That's not something that I like my clients, or I wouldn't want my clients to live like that. Nobody would like to live like that.
I've come across clients where they just bought a place. They became clients after, but they bought a place through someone else, and they're trying to sell it after 6 months of living there because they can't afford the payments.
Right.
Don't worry about it. You can get into the property, you'll be fine. But people in their heads, and I tell this every time I talk to individuals, is say, just because you don't have to drink those 15 Starbucks coffees on a monthly basis, it's easier said than actually done.
Absolutely.
And so when you start breaking it down, I don't have to do this, or I don't have to do this, or I don't have to do this. But when you actually do it on a monthly basis, that's why I always tell people that if you're thinking and you sit down with Brian, if you're thinking about, okay, I want to make this payment, do it for a month, do it for 2 months. Even if you're paying less in rent, put the other money into a savings account. So you actually feel how it feels in your pocketbook.
Right, and that's actually what I advise some of my clients that are unsure. Because when we sit down for a consultation, what I like to do is find out, obviously, number one, if they have children, what kind of expenses do they have per month, and sit down and I'll lay out different payment plans for them and ask them, does this feel comfortable to you? Does this comfortable, does price, monthly payment A feel comfortable to you? Monthly payment B, does that feel comfortable to you? And if they say they're unsure, then what I'll do is I'll tell them to continue to pay their rent, and the additional funds, so for example, the additional funds I tell them to put in a savings account. So for example, if they're paying $1,500 in rent and the mortgage payment that I propose for them is $2,000, I'll say, okay, pay your rent, your $1,500, and then that additional $500, put it in the bank, put it in a savings account.
And if they keep having to go and use it.
And if you're able to keep it, exactly. If you're able to keep it for 3 to 6 months, then you might be ready for that $2,000 payment. But if you're not, then you might not be ready to purchase that house.
We have a live comment?
Brian's getting a lot of love,
Oh.
so you might want to give some shout outs from MV Romero. Go for it, Brian Lopez.
Hey Vanessa, how are you doing? Thanks for showing up. Watching.
Mario said, hey Brian, and Val said, hi Brian.
Hey Dad, what's up, Val?
There we go. Wow.
Oh.
I guess the communication
Thanks.
is your
Brian.
skill
I know,
right
right?
there. All right, so besides Facebook Live,
Thanks for watching, guys.
besides Facebook Live, how would people get in contact with you?
They can go to my webpage, www.brian-lopez.com. Okay. Or they can always call me on my cell phone, 619-279-0493. I'm accessible
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about purchasing a home and you might have been sleeping, dreaming, you wake up at 11 p.m.,
I do
give
answer
Brian
those
a
calls
call.
sometimes. Trust me.
If
my
it's
girlfriend,
1 a.m.
she knows that I do answer those calls at 10 o'clock
Love
at
it.
night, those text messages, and so I'm always
If you
available.
call me at 11 o'clock, I'll be calling you back in the morning, so don't worry about that. All right, what's some of the best advice you can provide for a new client, Brian?
A new client is find out where you stand Before you're thinking about purchasing a house, find out where you stand as far as how much you can afford and if you're qualified.
Can I ask Brian a question?
Please.
I have
Ask
a good
whatever you
one.
want.
So San Diego is so expensive. What
Uh-huh.
advice would you give to people? Like, how long should they start before they're actually buying the house? Like a new couple, or like, what do you need to get together before you buy a house? It's, like, so expensive. How do you
Everybody's
do it?
different. Everybody's financial profile is different. So it really depends on the client. If you're starting out right now, the first thing you want to do is talk to a professional, because there's a lot of loan officers out there, but you want to talk to a professional. So you sit down with a professional mortgage originator, and they'll help guide you through, like I mentioned, what the comfortable payment per month is. But if you're looking to buy a house in 6 months, I would say right now is a perfect time. Even if you're looking to buy a year from now, because you don't know, unless you know how your financial profile is, including your credit, you really don't know if you can afford the house.
Well,
Yeah.
and the big thing too, that even let's say you don't have the funds, if you don't have the money, but you make a good monthly payment, make good monthly income, you might be able to qualify. There's a lot of grant
Yeah,
programs out there
yeah.
that Brian has access to. Not even just VA. There's also conventional loans where you can actually put no money down. Sometimes people don't have the monthly payment, but they have the actual down payment. And so there's ways to buy down the rate.
True.
So there's a lot of different things out there. I think the first step is, if you're thinking about, even if you're thinking a couple of years out, give Brian a call. Give him a call and just say, hey, I'm thinking about it. Let me sit down. I've had clients for myself where I sat down with them 4 years ago, and they've never actually sold or bought, but they've referred me to other clients, because
Yeah.
they always ask me questions like, oh, my friend's thinking.
Right.
It's just, it's the knowledge, is because we deal with this on a constant basis, a daily basis, just like yourself. You deal, in your business on a daily basis. It's going to be a lot easier for me to give you a call instead of Googling it.
So my marketing advice is that you guys partner together. You start tapping into each other's network. Hold like a lunch and learn.
That's a good idea. And that's actually what we do at our office. We do help real estate agents.
Yeah.
What we do is we have brunch and learns, and we have phenomenal classes. We got scripting classes that's done by Matt Shaver. We've got down payment assistance that's done by Kit Gray. Sergio Haros also puts on a top producer. So our office is always looking to help other people, whether it's a real estate agent, client, whoever it might be. We're always looking to help other people.
Just to know that
Right.
Brian actually is real, and he's a real lender originator. It's not just an actor that we brought
You
on.
gonna pinch me?
We have a really good comment here. It looks like, I worked with Brian many years. He is my go-to lender. My clients love him because he has the ability to communicate. Calling attitude. A
That
lot of
must-
good stuff right there.
that
I'm
must
proud that you can read that far.
that must be
was
cast.
awesome.
I can't.
Yeah, well, let's just say that's where we switch topics. All right, well, Brian, one more time. Tell us, how can people get in contact with you besides commenting on this?
You can go to my website, www.brian-lopez.com. That's BRIAN-LOPEZ.com, or you can contact me at 619-279-0493.
And remember, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. are his preferred times to give him a call. If he doesn't answer the first time, you probably just woke him up. So give him a call one more time, and he will pick up his phone.
Oh, one thing I wanted to do is, I'm always giving. I'm so grateful for life that I wanted to share this book with you. The Miracle Morning. Wake Up with a Purpose. That's a great book.
Yeah.
I just started reading that.
What time do you wake up?
Right now, this morning, I woke up at 5.
Call him
I-
and let him know
I-
what
yeah,
you
that's
picked up. Yeah, just,
Yeah.
Call him at 4:30.
Wow. I go to sleep excited to wake up in the morning, because the concept is like Christmas. It's like, when you're a kid, you're excited to wake up early for Christmas.
We got to wrap
And
this up, but
same
there was Eric Thomas. Have you heard of Eric Thomas?
I don't think
He's
so.
a motivational speaker.
Uh-oh.
So he has this.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Hope he's not watching.
That's a database you want to tap into.
Right.
But he talks about it, the miracle, like waking up at 5, and because he was like, I wondered why Oprah and all the other people were doing so much. It's not like they had more days, in their life. They just woke up earlier. And so when the time shifts and it gets earlier,
Yeah.
he basically just changes his clock. And so now he's waking up, like on his thing, this is a couple years back, he wakes up at 3 o'clock every morning. He's just changing his clock every day. And he's originally waking up at 8 o'clock and just working his way back every year. But anyways, I just had to throw that in because Miracle Morning and all this good time.
Yeah, no, it's a great book.
Cool.
Great book.
If you're looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate, give me a call, 858-345-7829. If you call me between 11 and 2, I'm probably not going to pick up the phone, but I will give you a call in the morning. Hope you have a great one. This is Real Talk Hillcrest with giving you the business of life in San Diego's finest city. What, Claire? That's not good? We'll come back. Thank you. See you next time.